They gave my father 31 years and left him standing outside his own retirement party, in the rain, like a stranger. But the folder that walked in that night, it didn't just expose one man. It exposed a decision made years before I was even born. Stay with me, because what happened in that room changed everything I thought I knew about my family. I never planned on telling this story. My dad's not the type to make noise about anything. He'd rather carry the weight quietly and never let you see it bend him. But I saw what they did to him, and I saw what was underneath it, something none of us saw coming. If you believe loyalty should still mean something, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because trust me, this story goes somewhere you won't expect. Let me take you back to where it started. My dad's name is Walter Hobbes. 31 years at a shipping company called Ferncrest Freight. Logistics supervisor. Not a fancy title, just the guy who made sure everything actually worked. First one in, last one out. Always. He missed my high school graduation once, a shipment crisis, some container stuck at a port. He called me that night, apologizing over and over, his voice cracking a little on the phone. I wasn't mad. That was just who he was. I remember once years ago, he said something strange, almost under his breath. "Your mother always said this place would forget me one day." He laughed it off when he said it. I laughed too. Neither of us thought much of it. We should have. 2 nights before his retirement party, we went shopping for a new shirt. Navy blue. He held it up, kind of unsure. "You think this looks all right?" "You look great, Dad." That smile, the real one, he didn't give that out often. The night of the party, he called me 30 minutes before I was supposed to leave. "Hope they don't make a big fuss over me," he said, a little nervous, a little excited. "You earned it, Dad. Let them fuss." He laughed, said he'd see me soon. I was 15 minutes late. 15 minutes was enough to see something I'll never forget. I pulled into the lot, and it was already raining. Thin, cold rain, the kind that soaks through slow. And there, under the awning, was my dad, navy blue shirt, small gift bag in his hand, standing outside, looking through the glass at his own party happening without him. I remember just sitting in my car for a second, not understanding. I got out. "Dad, what's going on?" He turned to me, and it wasn't anger on his face, it was confusion. "They said my name's not on the list. Checked twice." I looked past him. People inside, laughing, drinking, a banner with his name stretched over the room. His name on a banner while he stood in the rain. I walked straight past the door girl. My dad grabbed my arm. "Son, don't." I didn't listen. I found Desmond Cray, the regional director, working the room like it was his event. Why is my father standing outside his own party? A few people turned. Desmond smiled, that smooth, practiced smile, and said loud enough for the room, "Oh, small mix-up, buddy. These things happen, right?" A couple of soft laughs from people near him. Small mix-up? 31 years and it's a small mix-up he can joke about? Something in me snapped. I stepped toward him, and my hand caught his drink on the way. Glass hit the floor, shattered. Not planned, just anger with nowhere else to go. The room went quiet. Someone near the door said security under their breath. And then my dad was there, between us, not defending Desmond, protecting me. "That's enough," he said, quiet but firm, hand on my chest. "Not like this. Not you." We left. As we walked out, I looked back through the glass one more time. Someone was already taking the banner down. His name, folding in on itself as they pulled it from the wall, before the party had even ended. We drove home in silence. I kept glancing at him. He just held that gift bag in his lap, staring out the window. Around 9, there was a knock at the door. Odette Marlowe, soaked from the rain, holding an old, worn folder against her chest. I heard what happened. Wasn't invited either. Got there just as you two were leaving. She sat across from my dad. "Walter, I need to tell you something. All of it this time." She opened the folder. Emails, memos, signed statements, yellowed at the edges. "I've been keeping this for years," she said. "Walter," my dad frowned. "Keeping what?" 2 weeks ago, I overheard Desmond on the phone, not with some assistant, with Beaumont Hale, the CEO. The room went still. Beaumont told him, and I'm quoting exactly, "Don't make it a whole thing. Just don't put him on the list. Easier that way." My dad's face went pale. That was Beaumont's decision? "Desmond just carried it out," Odette said quietly. I felt something cold settle in my chest. This wasn't one bitter manager. This went all the way to the top. My dad pushed the folder back. "I don't want trouble, Odette. I just want to retire in peace." "Walter," Odette leaned in, "if we stay quiet, he does this to the next person, and the person after that." I sat beside him. "This isn't about revenge, Dad. It's about the people who don't have someone like Odette in their corner." He was quiet a long moment. Then he looked at Odette. "Where did all this even come from? 3 years of records? That's not something you just start doing." Odette's hands tightened on the folder. She hesitated. "It's not something I started, Walter." Her voice dropped. "It's something I finished." My dad looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Your wife started this folder, years ago. She noticed things, small things, the company quietly pushing out its most loyal people once they got too senior, too expensive, too inconvenient. She started keeping records, asked me to help her if anything ever happened to her before she could finish it." My dad didn't move, didn't breathe, it seemed like. "She never got the chance," Odette said softly, "so I finished it for her." My dad put his hand over his mouth. I'd never seen him look like that, not since the funeral. "Okay," he finally whispered. "Okay, let's finish what she started." The shareholders' meeting, glass walls, long table, board members, and Desmond up front in a new suit, mid-speech. "This company's future is about looking forward, not getting held back by certain outdated ways of doing things." The door opened. Odette walked in, calm, folder against her chest. "Sorry to interrupt, but everyone here deserves to know what kind of vision Mr. Cray has actually been building." She laid the documents on the table, one by one. 3 years of safety violations blamed on retiring employees who never saw these reports. Financial numbers quietly shifted onto people who never caused the losses, and it goes back farther than Mr. Cray. Desmond's smile faltered. "These are ridiculous. These are out of context." He reached across the table, grabbing for the folder. I stepped in front of him, hand flat against his chest. "Don't." The room froze. Desmond's voice rose, panicked now. "You want to know whose idea this really was? Go ahead, ask him." He pointed straight at the end of the table. "Ask Beaumont. This wasn't my call. None of it was my call." Every head turned. Beaumont Hale, sitting quietly the entire time, said nothing. His silence said everything. "Is that true?" Franklin Ashby, the older board member, asked flatly. "You told him to remove Walter Hobbes from that list?" Beaumont's jaw tightened. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. That's when my dad stood up from the back of the room. His voice shook at first. I trained you, Desmond, hired you fresh out of school, scared out of your mind on your first shift. I covered for your mistakes more times than I can count." The room was dead silent. "2 nights ago, you left me standing outside my own party in the rain after 31 years, and you called it a small mix-up." He looked past Desmond now, straight at Beaumont. "My wife saw this coming before any of us did, years ago. She started keeping records because she knew one day this company would forget people like me. I wish to God she were here to see this." Nobody moved. Franklin stood up. "Get security. Pull every file Mr. Cray has touched, and someone get legal on the phone about Mr. Hale's involvement. Immediately." Desmond looked around, panic all over his face. Wait, you can't." "We can," Franklin said, "and we are." Security walked both of them out. Quiet, controlled, final. My dad just stood there, breathing slow, like he'd been holding that breath for 31 years. The investigation took a few weeks. Desmond was let go entirely. Beaumont Hale stepped down for personal reasons within the month. No announcement, no fanfare, just gone. A few weeks later, the company held another retirement gathering for my dad, organized by the younger staff this time, the ones he'd mentored without even realizing how much it mattered to them. We walked in, and there it was, the same banner, his name, the one they'd folded up and pulled down before the party even ended. Someone had kept it, smoothed it back out, hung it up again. My dad stopped walking for a second when he saw it, just stood there, looking up at his own name. "Somebody kept it," he said quietly. "Somebody did," I said. He walked through those doors this time, not standing outside looking in. Odette raised a glass later that night. To 31 years of doing it right, even when nobody was watching, and to the person who started keeping score long before any of us thought to. My dad's eyes went glassy. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. They left him standing outside his own retirement party, in the rain, like 31 years meant nothing. But the truth walked in wearing an old, dusty folder his wife started years ago and finished by a friend who never forgot. And in the end, it was louder than anything any of us could have shouted. If this story moved you, if you believe loyalty and hard work still deserve respect, hit that like button right now. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you want more stories like this, real karma, real people finally standing up for themselves, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.